Right. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. We don't believe in any of those gods, with the possible exception of defining God down to some very specific claim that doesn't involve any supernatural powers, which makes the word kind of meaningless. But yeah, it's certainly possible I mean, you could right now make up your own definition of a god and say, this is what my God is like, and believe in that. And I know because lots of people do it, apparently. Yeah. We get people calling all the time who say, I believe in God, but my God, is nothing like that guy in the Bible.
Yeah, I just think of the universe as God.
Right, yeah, like that.
Oh, great.
I think too, yeah.
Well, I think the universe is the universe.
Exactly.
We have a perfectly good definition for the universe.
Exactly. So. And then I have another question, one more question.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it says the Bible was written 2,000 years ago. I don't understand how someone would know, like, all the prophecies. Like, I don't understand how they would make it up. Like, all the prophecy about microchips, one currency, and it's kind of happening now. I don't understand how someone can just make it up.
Can you, excuse me, wait a minute. Can you find the passage in the Bible that refers to microchips?
Microchips.
Microchips. I don't know it.
Okay.
Okay, well, then in that case, I suggest you actually find the part that they say is referring to microchips and see how close it came to actually having anything whatsoever to do with microchips. Because, I mean, they like to exaggerate these claims of how perfect the Bible is. Perfect example, a Muslim wrote to us this week. Did you read this exchange?
I think I'm
no,
behind
I'm sorry.
on emails.
It wasn't a Muslim. It was a person who was talking to a Muslim, and the Muslim claimed that the Quran perfectly calculated the speed of light.
Oh, I've heard this one before.
Yeah, okay. And their justification was this one passage that said that angels go for 100 of what you count, or something like that. And then they said, well, clearly what you count is because people would count the times the moon goes around. And so if the moon goes around 100 times, then it comes out to this very large number for the moon to travel for 100 years. And if you calculate that, it's perfectly what the speed of light is, down to like 0.1%. And then it turns out they massively fudged the numbers to get it within that 0.1%. And second of all, that passage didn't say anything about the moon. They just cherry-picked. I mean, they read this extremely vague passage which said nothing about anything, and then, I imagine they went through a bunch of possible things that it could have been before settling on, oh, moon gets us pretty close to this speed of light thing, which sounds really science-y, and so, and so we can say that this is an incredible prophecy, but when you start breaking it down, it's a crappy prophecy. Yeah. So I'd really so before you go worrying about how the Bible predicted microchips, I really think you should read for yourself the parts that actually talk about microchips, supposedly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and a lot of Christians, they like to use the book of Daniel as, part of their prophecy. And anytime you go back to the Old Testament, as a Christian, you got to kind of step out of this whole Christian mindset and understand this is a Jewish text. Okay, there weren't any Christians around when that was written. So we just got your echo here in the studio, by the way. We just got your echo in the studio here. That was really weird. But, there weren't any Christians around when the book of Daniel was written. And the interesting thing about that is if you talk to a rabbi, you'll find out they don't regard Daniel as prophetic. So it's interesting that the Christians have decided this is a prophetic book, but the Jews, who actually own the text, don't agree.
Right, and from an actual literary standpoint, the things that they say are prophecies are like stuff in the past tense.
Right.
That's that describes events that already happened. But they go through and they grab verses and they say, "Oh, that's just like the thing that we say happened to Jesus later in the New Testament."
Yeah.
So it's not terribly impressive.
Okay.
Is that Stephen Jesus?
Mom,
what?
Oh, that was my mom in the background. She's noisy.
Oh, whoop, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
My crank sense went off, and I think I was wrong.
Uh-oh, yeah.
But I have an itchy trigger finger. I'm sorry. Call back.
Yeah, you can call.
I feel bad about that.
Oh,
It's
well.
just, we're back in the studio for the first day, and I know that we get lots of local people who call and, and pretend to have a reasonable conversation for a while and then say something off the wall. And I don't think that was one of those. So sorry, Brian.
Yeah, you can call back, Brian. Okay.
Okay. Maybe
So-
we'll have better luck with Mike in Austin.
All right, let's talk to Mike.
Mike, are you there?
First, I need to clarify that atheists can't morally. They can even be people of integrity.
Wait.
That isn't the issue.
Hello?
Hello?
Having good morals
Wait a minute.
doesn't mean you have objective moral standards.
Hello? Wait.
One atheist
Can you
good
hear
morals
me?
might only be coincidentally
Hello?
consistent, but the true
Are you
objective morality
are you playing a
where
recording?
atheist isn't.
I think it's a recording.
Objective
Okay.
morals are those.
Bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Mike, you can't talk to us on your own? You got to record your response? Come
That-
on, guy.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, Nicholas. Hold on, Nicholas. We're here to have a conversation,
Yeah.
okay? We're not hanging up on anybody because they have beliefs that disagree with us, but we would like you to be ready to actually present your point of view, not recite somebody else's. Okay. Nicholas.
Yeah, it's certainly hard to follow that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you could just start talking and ignore everything I say.
I'm calling from Skype, so I was highly tempted to play you through my computer so you just hear a recording instead of my live voice, but I'm not going to do that.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Well, just to give you a little background on my question, I'm part of an atheist free thinkers agnostic group in college, and one of the group leaders was trying to give a definition of religion, and I felt it was very nebulous, sort of didn't really capture what religion was, thinking about rituals and dogma, and things like that, but he didn't really get to the heart of what I feel defines religion. And so it got me thinking about how I define and what isn't religion. And I thought about deism, whether or not deism is a religion or if it's just a philosophy. But it is just a philosophy. But it seems to be somewhat separate from other philosophies that may not rely on a natural
Okay.
argument.
Okay, that's a little hard to follow because, I don't
Yeah.
know, the Skype was really good in Matt's apartment, but somehow
Yeah,
you bring it
it's
here and
breaking
it's
up.
very, very choppy. But as far as what the right definition of religion is, I think that the word is so vague, is
Yeah.
so hard to pin down. It means different things to a lot of different people, that it's often not worth getting in an argument over who's got the right definition of religion. I think it's better to nail down a meaning and then talk about what that meaning implies. Like, for instance, if somebody wants to say atheism is a religion, which they often do, my reaction is, what do you mean by religion? And when they explain their definition of religion, I say, okay, by that definition, atheism is a religion, but so what?
Yeah. I think when I think of religion and what that actually means, there's a couple of concepts here. One is theism. And theism is just, do you believe that a God exists or not? Uh-oh. And if the answer is yes, then you're a theist. And if the answer is no, then you're an atheist, okay? And then when you talk about religion, that's sort of like, what flavor is your theism?
Yeah. Well, to me, religion indicates not only belief in a God, but also an organized system of worship of those gods, a
Right.
set of rituals, something surrounding the belief in God. And So in that sense, it would be hard to describe deism as a religion, because deism explicitly said there was a God who created the universe, but now he's gone, and there's nothing you can do to really communicate with it or get any signals from it.